Welcome to Salvation by Grace, a broadcast ministry of Grace Christian Assembly, a Sovereign Grace Fellowship in Smyrna, Tennessee. For more information, we invite you to visit our website at www.salvationbygrace.org. Now let's join our teacher, Jim McClarty.
And God takes him off the planet, and then the writer of Hebrews picks it up and says, just so you don't miss it, he didn't die. He got snatched away off the planet. Okay, I'm sorry, Carol. It's probably not the last time I'll interrupt. But go ahead, start again.
By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because God had translated him.
Okay, now there he's quoting from Genesis. There he's quoting from Genesis. He's quoting what we just saw. And could not be found because God took him. So he wants us to understand what that meant, that he couldn't be found because God took him. It means that he was translated instantaneously and did not see death. He was walking, he was talking, he was fine, he was moving, he was doing his thing, and then suddenly couldn't be found, gone, translated, did not see death. Wow! 7 generations of people on the planet, and God proved he could do that. 7 generations, and God said, okay, now watch this. This is an object lesson. See Enoch? Enoch, 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 gone! Okay, everybody catch that? Teaching us something. The 7th got translated and did not see death. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Go on.
God had translated, well, before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased God. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Okay, now the reason that I had to read all the way through verse 7 is that chapter 11 is what's commonly called the Heroes of Faith chapter in the book of Hebrews, where it's a list of all these Old Testament heroes who the writer of Hebrews is saying they were heroic because they had faith in God, that the primary factor that united these great Israelitish heroes was that they had faith in God. And he starts up there with Enoch and says, look what his faith did. He had faith in God, and God took him. So there's the first concept. Go to 2 Kings. Find 2 Kings. You're familiar with this story. I've talked a lot about Elijah and Elisha. So I'll give you a quick background on them, and then we'll just read the one segment. 2 Kings chapter 2 is what you're looking for in the Old Testament. 2 Kings 2, we're going to start at verse 11, but here's what had happened. This time, not only was God going to translate somebody, but he made it so widely known that he was going to do it, that there were witnesses to it. So Elijah and Elisha are walking together, and Elijah keeps telling Elisha, okay, go back. You don't have to follow me anymore. You've served me all these years. You've been a good servant. You go back. And he keeps saying, no, I'm not going to leave you today. Well, they come to a place called the School of the Prophets. And when they pass the School of the Prophets, the young men of the School of the Prophets come running out and they say to Elisha, don't you know that today's the day that the Lord's going to take your master? How did they know that? There were witnesses. There were people who knew it. There were people who were anticipating it. They stand up on the mountainside. Elijah and Elisha, I've told you the story, go down to the valley. They come against a stream, a river that they have to cross over. Elijah takes off his mantle, which is his overcoat. He strikes the water with his mantle, and the water stops. And they go across together. And then Elijah tries to get him to leave one more time. And Elisha says, no, I'm going to stay with you. So Elijah says, okay, ask me anything you want, and I'll give it to you now because I'll be splitting here soon. So if you don't speak quickly, you don't get it. And he said, I want a double portion of the power you have. And Elijah said, that's not mine to give, but here's the deal. If when I go up, what? I mean, he knew what was about to happen. If when I go, you see me go, then you'll know that God has granted your request. So starting at 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 11, I'm reading out of an NIV translation here. It says, as they were walking along and talking together, suddenly a chariot of fire and horses of fire appeared and separated the two of them, and Elijah went up into heaven in a whirlwind, and Elisha saw it and cried out, my father, the chariots and the horsemen of Israel, and Elisha saw him no more. Doesn't that sound just like what we just read about Enoch? Walked and talked and then was no more because God took him. Elisha saw him no more.
then he took hold of his own clothes and he ripped them or rent them, which was a sign of grieving or mourning over the passing or the loss of a friend or a loved one. So he ripped his clothes, and then as he was looking up, the mantle of Elijah falls to the ground. And Elisha runs over and picks up that mantle, and with all these sons of the prophets watching from the hillside, he walks over to the stream, decides to try it out, takes the mantle, strikes the water parts, and the sons of the prophets say, "Behold, the spirit of Elijah is on Elisha now." And Elisha becomes the greatest prophet in Israel at the time, because that spirit and power that he had moved on. But Elijah, gone. There's 2 raptures in the Bible.
I think he bid him farewell at the end of verse 23.
In...
Go up, you bald head. Go up, you bald head.
No. Oh, wait. Don't start. Don't start. Do you know who said that? Children said that to Elisha. It's really funny you bring that up, because then the story circulated about the fact that Elijah had gone up. And there were people who didn't believe it, just like there are people who don't believe in the rapture. There were people who didn't believe it. And so when Elisha was seen walking through a town, the kids came out to mock Elisha, because he's the one who was the claim and had seen and was the eyewitness to the catching away of his master. So they come out and they say, "Go up, you bald, go up," because they're mocking him. And read what happens next. A mother bear comes out and eats those children. Do not mock bald men.
I'm saying, and my dad couldn't be here tonight. He is a totally bald head.
Yeah, go up, you bald. Yes. Megan, don't mock bald men. Your father has abilities you had no idea.
Yeah, you and 41 of your friends will be in big trouble.
That's right. I'll get a mama bear after you. Okay, so now have I established for you this far that there is at least the concept of a rapture in the Bible? That there are some people who are instantaneously translated from life to life and never see death. Go instantaneously from life to life and move on up to heaven. That concept, if it exists in the Bible, is what we're calling the rapture, and I think we've proven that it does. Oh, let me show you one more. Here, since we're just looking at those kind of examples. Where's Philip? Book of Acts. Acts 8. Go to Acts 8. Here's a really interesting little tidbit of information. That's in Acts 8, you're going to read about an Ethiopian eunuch who was in the area of Gaza, I believe, who was traveling on his way home. He had converted to Judaism. You're nodding your head. Am I in the right place? Okay, good. He was traveling on his way home, and an angel of the Lord comes to the Apostle Philip and tells him to go down. Is it Gaza? Somebody got it there? Where's he told to go? Is that it? Yeah, okay. An angel of the Lord tells him to go there and meet with an Ethiopian eunuch, that he's needed there. Let me catch up with you here. Good. Thank you very much.
Page 26.
Where would I be without you? Right here. That's right. I'd be right here. I'd be doing this.
On behalf of everyone at Grace Christian Assembly, we thank you for listening to this week's Salvation by Grace message. Remember to visit us on the internet at www.salvationbygrace.org. And we invite you to join us next time when we gather around the Word and study the sovereign grace of God.